Hi, I'm Kurt Mitchell, and welcome to the Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar method. This lesson is divided into two sections. In this first section, we're going to take his style, his overall method of playing, the way he approached the guitar, and we're going to dissect it. In the second section, we're going to take apart the song Crossfire and show you note for note what's going on. And at the end of the show, there's an audio tab, so if you can't get what you need by watching it, you can take the audio tab and tab it out and figure it out yourself, okay? Now what I'm going to do is give you an A, or open fifth string, to tune to. He tuned a half a step low. So if you want to tune to your tuner a half a step low, that will also work and we'll be in tune. In case you don't have a tuner, I'm going to give you an A, open fifth string. You tune your guitar to that open fifth string, check it with me again, and then we'll be in tune and we'll get on with it. And I'll give you section one of this first half of this lesson, okay? So let me give you the fifth string. Here we go. Fifth string, open A to tune to. Riff number one is a riff from Pride and Joy. This almost wraps up Stevie Ray Vaughan's whole thing. Stevie Ray Vaughan sawed at the guitar. He didn't control his picking. He flailed away at it, and this whole thing is how, what gives it that sound. Okay, let's take riff number one, Pride and Joy. Here we go. One more time. Riff number two is an excerpt from Love Struck. This further illustrates the saw picking he used to do. I got the pleasure of seeing him before he passed away, and he used to just flail on his guitar. He never got controlled about his picking. He never played like a lot of people do, very controlled, very contrived, but he used to bash on his guitar when he played, and that's how come it had so much guts. If you'll notice, while I'm picking this, I'm sawing away at it. Now, in so doing, you'll notice that you have to cover up the rest of the strings. Whatever you're not playing, you have to cover up. Okay? I'll do that for you further when we do it slow. Here's a section from Love Struck, the first solo, little excerpt from Love Struck. Here we go. Slower. Now, the way he used to play used to facilitate a three-piece sound. In other words, what I'm saying is, Stevie could be in a three-piece, and when I saw him, he had a keyboard player who used to play the B3, and it backed him up for some chords. But when he started out, right after he got out of Davey Boy, he was playing in a three-piece. And it never lacked for fatness, because as he's playing, there's always some sound going on. So he's playing rhythm and all kinds of things, too. And playing like that gives it rhythm as you're playing notes. But like I said, you have to keep control of all the notes you're not playing so that it doesn't get in the way. If you play open strings, it sounds like this. I'm literally doing the same thing with my picking hand that I was before. And if you don't use your thumb, everybody tells you don't put your thumb around the back of the neck. If you don't use your thumb around the back of the neck while you're playing this stuff, you're not going to be able to mute those strings, and it's going to sound like crap. So, let's get on with it. This is section 3, Testify. I can't stress enough the picking techniques that we're using here. It has almost all to do with the rhythmic quality of the guy's playing, all right? There's some picking marks on this particular riff on Testify. There are some strokes for these chords. What I'm trying to do is get across to you that, and you don't have to copy them exactly because it'll give you your own style, but this is one of the hardest styles I've ever had to copy, and it's because of the way he approached this stuff. He used to make sure that the way he picked emphasized certain notes over others, thereby giving the overall thing a certain rhythm that went with the drummer quite a bit. He was almost a percussion player when he used to play like this, and he used to play his solos like this too, just sawing away at the guitar. Let's get on to riff number 4. Again. This next section is another extraction from the song Testify, and what's going to happen is we're going to switch pickups, right? Stratocaster, it's got 3 pickups. This is what Stevie Ray Vaughan played almost all the time. Got 3 pickups. Most of the time he's in the neck position. There's a middle position, he plays a lot here too. And in the middle of the solo, he flicks the switch and he gets down to the bridge position pickup, right? So we're going to flick the switch, get down there, and I'm going to play this riff, and then right towards the end of the solo, he flicks it back up to the neck position pickup and continues on, okay? These are also single coil pickups. And I'll explain to you how he got a big fat sound out of single coils in a little bit. Let's go on to section riff number 5, okay? Once again. In section 6, I'm going to show you a piece of Rude Mood, and this further illustrates this thing he does with his pick hand, which is he's flailing away at it. He's hitting all the strings, but he's only catching one note at a time. But what it's doing is it's giving a percussion effect to the whole thing, and it's not that easy to do. It takes quite a bit of practice to get straight. Let me show you this. This is a bridge. This is a neck pickup, I mean, too, which and turn the guitar down a little bit of distortion. Let's see if we can get through this, okay? Section 6. Once again. Section 7 is going to be broken into 4 pieces so that I can give you the riffs with the turnarounds and the different chords. This illustrates something that a lot of people do in blues, and they play open strings when they're in E. They'll play pull off to open strings a lot. So he does a lot of this. Here's section 7A, B. Once again. Section A, C. One more time. Here's section A, D. Once again. There's a little bracket down here that you can see called an order box, and this will put this in order and give you the 12-bar thing. What it is 12-bar blues, and when he's going around, he's sticking that riff in between the whole thing. So let's get on to section 8. One more time. That was section 8A. This is section 8B. once again. Here's section 8C. One more time. Okay, these next few sections, 9 through 15, what we're going to do is cover some of the chords that Stevie used quite a bit in his blues playing, okay? And his particular brand of blues, I should say. And he switched them up when he played different keys, but mostly he used the same kinds of chords. All right, let's check out number 9. This is E minor 7, okay? Number 10 is an A7 chord, and what's cool about this A7 chord that Stevie used, and he used it a lot, is that it had the same shape, had the same basic fingering as the B chord, and if you're playing an E, A, B 12-bar blues, your fingers never had to change much, okay? So here's number 10. Number 11, following the pattern, is going to be a B, okay? This is B minor 7th. Number 12 is an E7 sharp 9 chord. What it actually is a major chord against a minor chord. You have an E major. It's not a major. It's a major chord because you got a major third, but it's an E7, okay? Then you take your pinky finger and you bar a D and a G over it, so that you have a major third and a minor third hanging on there, and it gives it that type of a sound. Here's number 13, same type of chord. It's the same exact chord, it's just voiced differently. This is an E7 sharp 9. These next two chords that I want to talk about are the same fingered chords, but he uses these all the time when he's playing stuff. And he uses them to bounce off, go back and forth when he's playing rhythm. So here's number 14, it's A minor 7th with not very many notes in it. You're going to use the root and the top two notes. It comes out like this. Number 15 is the same thing, only it's a B, so you can take the whole thing and slide it up 2 frets, and you have this thing. Let's go over some visual positions that Stevie Ray Vaughan and a lot of blues players play in. The exact modalities of these things I'm not quite sure of. They have something called a blue note in them, which is a cross between a major and a minor third. You're usually in a minor mode when you're playing this stuff, and then somehow, I don't know how, and it seems to fit, a major third will fit. Okay, so I'm going to bust these down, 16, 17, 18, and 19, into 2 parts each on the neck. You're going to look at the neck. There's going to be way too many places to put your fingers. There'll be brackets drawn where you're going to do one position, and brackets drawn where you do the other. And they sort of meld together. That's why I put them together that way. A lot of the riffs that Stevie does do this. You slide up and slide back down. Okay? Let's do 16, and I'll run just the first position for you, and then I'll go over the second one. Here we go. You'll notice that the root notes are circled, so we're in E right now. Root notes are circled, and the blue note, or the major third against a minor mode, is in a square, okay? Let me play for you now the second half of this. If you were to be playing blues, a lot of times Stevie would slide up like this. Okay, so let me give you those notes that are going to be within that blues scale up here in this other position, the second half of this first position in E, okay? All right, now you have all those notes to bounce off of and use, and there's a whole bunch of chromatic notes in there if you use the blue note. So you get stuff like... And that major third is sort of something to, I don't know, they sort of hammer and pull off on it. And then you're in a minor mode. I don't know why it fits. It fits to me too, and it doesn't make any sense musically, but it's the blues. So let me go to 17. I'm going to give you the same thing in E again, an octave up, okay? Now let's do the second half. The same as we did down here, 12 frets up, 1 octave up. What I'm giving you is the notes to frame in your own solos with. These are visual positions for you to be able to play your own stuff. So you can take away from this, like I said, more than just Stevie Ray Vaughan riffs. Okay? Let's go to number 18. 18 is going to be an A, same scale. All right? And the second half. And you can slide between those two positions. Eric Clapton started a long time ago, and I'm sure that they've been playing like that forever. Just in these two positions, there's all kinds of things that you can play. Okay? Number 19 is going to be in B, all right? Then the second half. That concludes the first half of this program. I want to give you some pointers about Stevie that you should know if you're going to try to emulate his style, because it's one of the hardest I've ever tried to emulate. He hammered on his guitar, and the reason he could do that was that he played 13s. I have 10s on my Stratocaster. I went up to 11s one time, and it tore all the skin off my fingers, and I could barely play the thing. He played 13s. That's also why guys with single coil pickups like Hendrix and Gary Moore and other people can get such a fat sound out of a Stratocaster. There's a whole bunch of metal ringing over the pickups. If you put 9s on a Stratocaster, it sounds like a little thin piece of paper. You put 13s on it, and there's a lot of string there. So he used to saw at his guitar and bash on the thing and keep control with his thumb and his other fingers and play one note at a time. And basically just whack away at the guitar and use it as a rhythm instrument. He had a lot of vibrato. He had very strong hands, and he played all cliche old blues riffs, but he played them with more feeling than I think I got to see him. More feeling than anybody I've ever seen play. And so I hope you enjoyed this first half. Next half's going to be Crossfire, so let's get to it. Hi, I'm Kurt Mitchell. Welcome to the Stevie Ray Vaughan video. We're going to cover Crossfire in this video, and the thing about this song is that there really isn't any rhythm playing in it. What it is one great big blues lesson. I mean, he plays a whole bunch of classic blues riffs all the way through it, and between him singing. It's very much like B.B. King used to play. When B.B. King used to play, he had a band back him up, and he used to play notes in between the singing. Well, Stevie's doing this all the way through this song, okay? And there's like 30 blues riffs in here, not counting the solos. So what I'm going to do is we're going to tune up. Now, Stevie tuned down half a step a lot. So we're tuned down half a step. We got thick strings on a Stratocaster, ordinary Stratocaster. We're running it into a little stomp box with some distortion into a Marshall head. Now Stevie used to use a custom-made amp. I forget the name, but he has to have some guy tweak his amps and build him stuff. And pretty much, though, as long as you have a Stratocaster type of guitar with the single coil pickups, the 3 single coil pickups, you'll be, and a little bit of distortion, you'll be able to achieve this sound. Let me give you an A, or a 5th string, and remember it's tuned down half a step. If you want to use your tuner to tune down half a step, that's fine also, because we should be in tune. I'll give you an A, then tune your guitar to itself, and to that A, come check it against my A again, because as you tune your guitar, that shifts, and hopefully we'll be in tune and we'll get rolling, okay? So let's have it. In this song, we're going to be switching pickups about 3 times, okay? I have a 57 reissue Stratocaster. Wish it was a 5757 Stratocaster, but it's a reissue, which is good enough. It's serving our purpose. What happens with Stratocasters is when the switch is down, it's the bridge pickup. And when it's in the middle pickup. When it's at the top, it's the neck pickup, okay? Stevie plays most of this song with the middle pickup, okay? Now, he switches in the solos 2 or 3 times, but that's about the only time he switches. I'll make sure and tell you when he switches pickups, because he does it right in the middle of his playing. It's something that a lot of people got from Jimi Hendrix. He really did start that stuff. Anyways, let's get on with it. This is, like I said, this is a bunch of blues riffs connected together. A lot of them I'm not going to play slow for you because they're only one note, okay? Let's go for number 1, all right? This is Crossfire. Here we go. Here's section 1. How about section 2? Once again. Section 3. Section 4. One more time. Section 5. One more time. He plays that one twice. Then goes to number 6, and this is 6. And again. Number 7. Again. Eight. One more time. 9. Again. 10. One more time. 11. Again. 12. One more time. 13. One more time. 14. 15. Again. 16. 17. And once again. Like I said, this is it's pretty strange to sit and hear these little things being plunked along, but if you play along with the song, which is the main thing to do here, or if you're going to be in a band and you want to play with a band and play this song, then it all fits together. These just happen to be the guitar parts, and the solos, which are coming up, are they're just beautiful works of blues. So bear with us here, and we'll get to the solo in a second. We got a few more of these little riffs, and then we'll be to the solo, okay? Let's get on with section 18. Section 18. Again. Here's section 19. It's another one of those E slide off things, E minor. Let's go to section 20. Once again. Section 21. One more time. Here's section 1 of the solo. Stevie Ray Vaughan possessed a great amount of strength. He played with extremely thick strings, and he bent them all over the place. I saw him play once. Got to see him live once, and that guy beat that Stratocaster to death. You have to get your hand strength up in order to play this with as much viciousness as he does, okay? So we're going to go through these solo pieces and know that he doesn't have a lot of distortion going on, and the reason it sustains so long from just being a Stratocaster is because these thick strings and the way he just mashes on the neck, okay? So here's section 1 of solo number 1. Let's have it. Once again. Section 2. Once again. Section 3, we switch to the bridge pickup. Here we go. Section 4 of the solo. Solo number 1, that is. One more time. Section 5 of the solo 1. One more time. Once again. Section 7 of the solo. Once again. Section 8 of the solo. One more time. Section 9 of the solo. One more time. Here's section 22 of the riffs. One more time. Section 23. Again. 24 is just one of these smacks. Here's section 25. He plays this one twice in a row. Slower. '26 is not just another E bar chord. '27. One more time. Yet one more of these E's. Section 1 of solo number 2. One more time. Here's section 2, solo 2. Section 3, solo 2. Once again. Section 4, solo number 2. One more time. Section 29 of the riffs and number 1. Once again. '29 and 2. One more time. Let me give you a few performance tips on this. Grow some calluses on your fingers, because Stevie really did play hard. A Stratocaster is not an easy instrument to play. You have to really make them play. There's a big difference between a Stratocaster and a Les Paul. Les Paul plays very easily. Stratocaster, you have to make it sing. I heard he used to put bass frets in his guitar. What that would amount to me to be is it would be like scalloping the fretboard. In other words, there was space underneath the string to dig underneath it and really get a good vibrato on it. He used to use 13s. These are 10s on this guitar. He used to use 13s gauge strings, unbelievably thick strings. Try not to overwork your hand on this stuff. I mean, I started getting cramps up here, you know, in my hand after playing it for a while. They're basic blues riffs, but he plays them with so much authority. I've never heard anybody play blues riffs with this kind of authority. And do have fun with it, but don't injure your hand. We're going to go to the audio tab portion of the lesson right now, and until next time, I'll see you later.
This is the audio tablature section of our lesson. Open your books at page 1 and follow along. We'll quickly go through the legend. Number 1 is a false harmonic. Here's how you'll write it in your book when you do your tablature, and here's how it sounds. Number 2, harmonics. Number 3 is vibrato. Number 4. Number 4 is a hammer-on. Number 5 is a pull-off. Number 6 is a dive bar. Number 7 is a pull bar. Number 8 is bar vibrato. Number 9 is a right-hand hammer. Notice the 12 in the circle on the 3rd string. This is the note that is to be hammered on with your right or index finger. Section number 9 reads 3rd string 5, 7, 12 in a circle. The note that is to be hammered will be called off as in a circle. Number 10 is a tap. The left hand frets the first note while the right hand taps the string, not the fret, creating a harmonic. Number 11, notes in a bracket. When a series of notes are to be played more than once, usually several times, you'll place these notes in a bracket. This section of tablature reads 3rd string 5, hammer to 7, hammer to 9. Place these 3 notes in a 9 times bracket. This is done in order to save writing time. Number 12 is a slide. Number 13 is a bend. This bend reads bend 1.5 steps. Number 14 is a bend and release. Number 15 is a bend and vibrato. Number 16 is a bend, release, and vibrato. Number 17 is use bar. Just dip your bar in pitch. Number 18 is a pick scrape. Number 19 is a trill. And number 20 is a scrape. Now turn to the tab key instructions. String numbers. The first string or top string of the tablature represents the skinniest string or the high E string on the guitar, number 1. Number 6 represents the bottom string or the low E string. Example B, up and down. The words up and down are used whenever single notes are played on adjacent strings. This is so we can move at a quicker pace. Example B reads, first string, 2, 4, down 2, up 2. Since there's nowhere else to go to the 3rd string or the 1st string, we have to move to the 4th string. That'll be called off as 4th string, 4, 5. One more time. On the 1st string, 2, 4, down 2, up 2. And on the 4th string, 4, 5. Example C, chords. When you hear the word chord, a chord will be given in a stacked formation from top to bottom. Example C reads, 2nd string, chord 7, 6, 4. When chords are played on the same string, the new chord will not have any string numbers called. Example D reads, 2nd string, chord 7, 6, 4, chord 5, 4, 2, and chord 7, 6, 4. Example E, when a chord does change strings, the new string number will be given. Example E reads, 3rd string, chord 5, 5, 3, chord 5, 5, 3. 2nd string, chord 5, 4, 2, and on the 5th string, chord 5, 3. Broken chords. When a chord is broken, the skip string will be called off as nothing. Example F reads, broken chord, 1st string, 3, 3, nothing, 5, 5, 3. Now turn to the tab key in your book. This piece of tablature is broken into two sections. Section numbers go in circles. This tab reads Section 1 and then Section 2. A section broken into two or more pieces is indicated by the letters A, B, etc. This piece of tablature reads Section 1, then N1 and N2. The N1 and N2 refer only to section number 1. Sometimes a section will have up to 4 or more endings to it. This piece of tablature reads Section 1 and Riff 1. The Riff 1 refers to section number 1, licks that follow a section. Take a look at this order box. It will appear after each song on this video in the audio tablature section. This is how you will play the song in its entirety. Most of you already have a good idea of how the song goes, bridge, chorus, solo, end. If not, this is how it is as it was played on the record. This order box reads, play section 1, then play section 2, play section 3 and 1. The N1 refers only to section 3. Then you'll play section 4, section 5, section 6, then section 7, N1 and N2. Again, they refer only to section 7. Play section 8, section 9, then the solo. When a section is placed in brackets, this means that you'll play that section more than once. So this section reads, play section 1 3 times, then play section 2, section 3, and section 4. As an example, we'll build a small order box from George Lynch's In My Dreams. Here's the first section of the song.
That was section 1 and 1. Let's do it slow.
That was section 1 and 1. Here's the next section.
Section 1 and 2. Once again.
Now in the order box it reads play section 1 and 1, then play section 1 and 2.
Section 2 and 1. I've tapped the coil on my pickup so I have much thinner sound. What you could do is probably roll your volume knob down a little bit, and I've added some chorus to it. Here we go, section 2 and 1. One more time.
Now the order box reads play section 1 and 1, then play section 1 and 2, then play section 2 and 1.
Okay, once you've done a couple audio tab songs, you'll see that it's simple and easy to do. But let me give you a couple of hints that might help you along. Number one, you're going to find that it's probably too fast for you to sit down and zip it out, all right? So you're going to want to, here's a little helpful hint. You don't want to rewind your videotape. You keep rewinding your videotape and playing it, it's probably going to ruin it. People don't want to sit in the living room with you, the only VCR and the only TV in the room, and sit and watch you do audio tab either. So you take any ordinary audio cable, like this, right, and you run it out of the back of your VCR into a cassette deck, okay? And almost all VCRs have this option, and all you'll have to do then is take it in your bedroom or take it wherever you want to, away from the television or outside in your Walkman or wherever you want, and you can keep rewinding the audio tab and getting it straight, and it's much easier to do. Saves wear and tear on your VCR machine and your video cassette. Okay, a few more things. You write your audio tab out. If you go and scribble out a bunch of your favorite licks, and when you come back to look at it and you try to learn the song, you're just going to have a bunch of scribbled out favorite licks on there. You want to do this in a certain method. You got to write clean. I would advise starting with a pencil and always writing with a pencil until you're done. And if you want it darker or kept for longer, go back over it and write over it with a pen, okay? Because you're invariably going to make mistakes. And if you write in pen, you're going to scribble them out, you're going to end up with a big mess. If you take the time to do this, you will have something that you can keep and always refer to if you ever forget riffs or if you want to go back to it, okay? Method I would use if I was going to do this would be to put the song title at the top, okay? Put a bar line over here, section 1. Go on from there, okay? Let's tab something out. Let's say chord 997, third string chord 997, okay? Chord 775, chord 997. Okay, we'll put a little riff on there. 6 string 320. Okay, put a bar line, go to section 2, or end 1, or whatever the case may be. All right? You'll follow these couple of rules and take your time doing this. That's why you want to transfer the audio portion to a cassette for yourself. The best idea, anyways. You'll find that it's quick and easy to use, and it's extremely helpful in learning the riffs. Some of this stuff goes by so fast that if you're just trying to pick it off by ear, it's hard to do. Okay?